So today we have 4 origami models that we're going to do, and they're all very simple. And so when I show you each of the pre-made ones, before we get into the instructions of how to make each model, I'll just mention briefly the symbolism behind each one, so that way you know going into each model what you're the importance behind what you're making. So first up, we have this butterfly, and this butterfly is a symbol of the human spirit and soul, and it also represents something or someone who's free flying and very graceful. So next up, so, and this rose is an integral symbol of friendship as well as purity. So ideally you would want to use white colored paper, since white is the universal symbol of purity. But in this case I did a yellow rose. However, do as you will. It's a heart, and this heart evidently symbolizes love. And it's a lucky star, and the lucky star, as per its name, is a sign of luck and also friendship. If you're wondering what type of paper I use to make the origami models, I went to Michael's and I bought this pack of 300 sheets, 15 by 15 centimeters, as it says on the back. So step one of the butterfly model is to fold your paper, as shown, from corner to corner and from side to side. So once you unfold, you should have a series of 4 creases. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so where the creases come off of the paper, so it should be the color side, you're going to make a triangle fold, and it'll just be easier if I show you how to do it and you can follow along. So once you have the triangle fold down, it should look something like, well, a triangle. So turn so the longest oh my God. Turn so the longest side faces up, and what you're going to do is fold these flaps right here, the 2 flaps on this side, fold them to somewhere near the corner, the opposite corner, but not all the way to the point. So something like this. And you're going to do that for both flaps on this side. Alright. So make sure that both sides are even, as in this diamond shape right here. And what you're going to do now is flip over to the other side, and there's this larger triangle flap here. You're going to fold it up past the long side. So like this. And when you fold it up, it's important to note that these corners might start to come up and it'll create a little puff over here. And that's alright because you want that to be the starter formation of the butterfly's wings. So you can leave a little puff there. And make sure you fold it nicely. Turn it back over. And you should have a little tip coming out of the side. So now that you have that, you're going to fold this new tip down so you can no longer see it from the long side. And next, you're going to fold the whole model in half. Make sure both sides line up so they're symmetrical. And unfold slightly. So now that you have the tip folded over to the long side, like this, if you turn it over, you're going to fold the tip over like this. And then fold the whole model in half. You can unfold it a bit, and it'll sure look something like this. So, like the other pre-made model that I showed before, it'll eventually look like this. So all you have to do now is curl the sides so it looks more like a butterfly's wings, and you're basically done. And so here's your final product. So the second model we're going to be doing is the rose. So I have my paper right here. And what we're going to do is do the same as we did for the butterfly model and fold from corner to corner and then side to side. So once you unfold, you should have, again, the 4 corners, or lines rather. So line 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you do that, again, like the butterfly model, you're going to make the triangle fold. And it should look like this. And so now you're going to fold the flaps here to the top corner. And you're going to do that for the first side. So both corners on this side for right now. And so once you have that, you're going to again fold the flaps down to the opposite corner, this, so you're going to essentially be making smaller triangles. And now that you have that done, you're going to do what's called a squash fold. So that's basically unfolding the mid triangle that you just folded, like this, opening up the slot here, and squashing it to make a square. So you should have 2 small squares. Now you want to flip it over and do the same thing with folding the triangles and performing the squash fold. So now the model should look something like this. Sort of like a little house. And so what you're going to do is rotate your model so the open edges along this line, the open edges right here, are facing up towards you. And there are two large indentations right here. So it's easier shown than explained. So I will show you what you're going to do, but it'll be flattening the indentations. So again, I'll show you and you can follow along. So now your model should look like this. And so when you flatten it, the indentations should become triangles, like so. And so now you're going to flip the model over to the colored side. And there's this large flap here. Going to take that and put one finger into these two slots along the sides. So one finger in each slot. And your goal by doing so is to essentially twist it so it can become the bottom of the rose. And so, with that being said, the end result for the bottom of the rose should look like this. So, if you couldn't see clearly in the video, it's taking this and flattening it. Think of it like you're creating a point for the rose where the stem will go. And you know you've got it right when you see there's a slight swirl for these two lines here. And so once you have that done, you're going to start twisting the whole model. Oh, almost forgot. So there is one more step to this to make it look even more realistic. You're going to take the toothpick right here and curl the angular edges so it will have the round appearance of a rose petal. So I'm just going to do it real quick, just to give you a rough idea of what your rose looks like. And if you're wondering why this is a gray rose and not a pink one, it's because, well, long story short, I couldn't import the video that I filmed previously onto my computer for editing, so I made another model. But no worries. And don't worry, your model will not magically change colors to this drab gray. As it appeared in the video. Alright, so here we go. Oop, this one's a little bit unfurled. Just fix it a little bit. But this is basically the idea of what your model should look like. As you can see, fairly realistic. And there you have it, a rose. Now we're going to do the heart model. So first, we're going to do corner to corner fold, and then side to side fold. And unfold, and you're going to fold the bottom edge to the horizontal crease going along the middle that you just folded, and flip it over so that the colored side, this part right here, faces away from you. And you're going to fold both corners here to the vertical line going down the middle. And fold, oh, okay, sorry, hold on. So you're going to flip it over now to the white side, so that way the color corner faces away from you. And now we're going to fold the sides again to the vertical crease. Oop. And fold down the corners of these two sides, the ones that you just fold them down again to the vertical crease. And now you're going to fold from tip to tip, like so. So when you do that, you should start seeing these two flaps come up, and should start forming the heart if you flip it over to the other side. So it's okay if you push these out a little bit, just as long as you don't rip them. You just have to be careful when you do folds like these. So gently fold it over, and see here, you can flatten it out so it creates a little triangle. And make sure that the triangle is an isosceles one, so the sides should be even. These two sides and longer side here. Alright, just adjust just a little bit. Awesome. Okay. So now we are going to take this layer here, since this is the back of the would-be heart, and this is the front. So you don't want to have this flap hanging out, and you're going to want to tuck it in to this pocket behind the front-facing layer, like that. So it should be the appearance of one layer. And to round out the sharp edges, you can simply fill down the corners. And it doesn't have to be anything major when you fill down these corners, because you don't want to flatten out the heart, but you also want to make sure that it looks like a decent heart. And there you go. Alright, so last but not least, we have the lucky star. So this model is actually special because, as you can see, it's not the typical 15 by 15 centimeter size paper. Instead, it is 1.5 inch wide by 11 inch long strip of paper, and is fold one end of the strip to form a sort of ribbon shape when you fold the paper over around the same length, because in an end, not an end rather, but as you go along, this will start to form the shape of a pentagon to opposite ends. So I could do it again for you. Here, the tail, fold the tail over to any opposite end, so from here to here, it's fine. I'm going to go from here to here next. Fold over, and then here to here. So the way this goes doesn't really matter as long as you fold to the opposite side. So you don't have to follow the exact way that I'm folding it, just as long as it looks like a shrinking tail and a pentagon shape. And make sure when you do so that the folds that you make are tight, so that way you won't have a star that falls apart later on. Like you did before, tuck the strip into the triangular pocket. Try your best. It can be a little tricky since the pocket is small, and if you're cutting the strip out manually like I did, it can be a little bit messy, but just do your best. So you can actually buy Lucky Star strips. I believe they are available online. I'm not sure if they sell them at Michael's. I didn't see them personally, but they are obviously a lot more cleanly cut, so you'd have less trouble folding a star. However, I didn't want to spend money on 1.5 by 11 inch paper strips. At least not that much money. I already spent money buying the 15 by 15 ones. But they are available, so if you'd like to purchase those, go right ahead. And after that, you do the same exact thing as I would do for, as I'm doing for this model. So now that you have this going on, make sure that it's as tight as possible. All the sides are even. None of the parts of the paper coming loose. You want to start pinching your thumb, or not pinching your thumb, pressing your thumb in the center of each side to create the points of the star. So I'll just show you for the first one. Just like that. And it might look kind of funky right now, but you can adjust it later on. And you just want to do this really carefully. Otherwise, you're going to flatten out the star, and it won't be good. Alright, so this is my star, a little plain looking, but sentiment is what counts. And the process behind it, of course. And hey, the more homemade looking it is, the better to feel. So here's my star. It's a little wonky, a little uneven since I did it kind of quick, but so I put everything into a jar, and I made multiples of each model so I could fill it up.